I'm not sure he's going to be a dominating NBA player.
I don't give a damn about how this kid in Europe looks.
He doesn't pop athletically.
It's slower than rush hour traffic.
He doesn't look special to me.
Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you watched a player take over the NBA so completely that the league itself seemed to hesitate? Like it needed a second to decide whether what it was witnessing was even allowed. Because what Luka Doncic did in 2023 wasn't just great, it wasn't just elite, it was historic. This was the kind of season that forces uncomfortable comparisons. Jordan-level control, LeBron-level carry jobs, Kobe-level scoring bursts, Harden at his absolute offensive peak. And somehow Luka didn't borrow from those eras. He blended them. We're talking historic 60-point triple-doubles that didn't feel chaotic, a historic 70-plus point eruption that looked effortless, passes that felt less like reads and more like decisions made before the defense even knew it was in trouble. This wasn't just production, this was mastery. The kind of historic command over pace, space, and pressure that most legends don't reach until they've lived through years of playoff wars. Except Luka did it at 23. No super team, no safety net, just the ball, the responsibility, and an entire league bending around him night after night. So if calling 2023 Luka historic sounds premature, stay with me, because this wasn't just another great season by a superstar. This was the moment the NBA quietly realized it might not be ready for what Luka Doncic is becoming. Let me show you exactly why. Here's the wild part. Luka's historic season didn't begin with some heroic storyline. It started with criticism. People questioned his conditioning. People questioned whether he could play with another star. People questioned whether his style could actually carry a team anywhere in the modern NBA.
Oh, you're missing money.
Look, there is no question that Luka's conditioning issues have been in Luka's hands.
And it costs you money.
Like, this is a self-created issue.
And Luka, he heard all of it. The Mavs stumbled early. The media circled like sharks. And suddenly every sports show was pushing the same narrative. Luka's great, but maybe he's not that guy. Maybe he peaked too early. Maybe his style of play isn't sustainable. But this is the part people never understand about Luka. He doesn't explode when the pressure hits. He sharpens. 2023 wasn't Luka trying to prove critics wrong. It was Luka showing the world who he actually is. And the way he did it. Well, that's when the season became something different. Luka didn't ease into 2023. He took control of it. Every possession felt intentional. Every defender felt exposed. Step backs from distances defenders aren't taught to guard. Hesitation so calm, they looked slow. Until it was too late. Passes delivered like Luka already knew where everyone would be standing. 3 seconds before they got there. But if you want the night where dominance turned into history, it came on December 25th, 2023. Christmas Day, the NBA's biggest stage. No off nights, no hiding. Mavericks, Suns, national TV, the entire basketball world tuned in. Phoenix throws bodies at him. Length, switches, hard doubles the moment he crosses half court. It doesn't speed him up. It doesn't rattle him. Luka controls the game like a chess grandmaster, moving pieces, setting traps, waiting. Then the scoring avalanche starts. Bucket, pause, bucket, assist. Another step back that feels like a personal message. By the fourth quarter, it stops looking competitive and starts looking inevitable. And when the night is over, the box score tells a story that hasn't been told often. 50 points. On Christmas Day, that number doesn't just put him on the scoreboard, it puts him in a list, a short one. Only 4 players in the entire history of the NBA have ever scored 50 or more points on Christmas Day. Bernard King, 60. Wilt Chamberlain, 59. Rick Barry, 50. And now, Luka Doncic, 50. Different eras, different styles, same stage. And Luka, didn't just join that list, he did it in the modern NBA, against elite defenses, with the entire league watching. This wasn't about chasing a stat. This wasn't about a hot shooting night. This was Luka Doncic, proving something deeper. That on the biggest nights, on the loudest stages, when the spotlight is unavoidable, he doesn't survive it, he owns it. This wasn't just a Christmas game. It was Luka Doncic stamping his name next to legends and reminding the league, history isn't behind him, it's happening in real time. And here's the thing, that performance didn't come out of nowhere. It was part of a stretch of basketball that genuinely didn't look real. Night after night, Luka put up numbers that would break scoreboards if they weren't digital. 51 here, 45 there, a 35-13-12 with perfect pacing, a 39-12-8 where he barely looked like he was trying. But to understand why 2023 Luka was historic, you have to look at the full season numbers pulled from every different type of game he had.
20 seconds to go. Hardaway, three-pointer. Short. Doncic on the foul. Banks it home and a foul. He got fouled.
If the eye test told you Luka Doncic was having a historic season, the numbers confirmed it. Over the full season, Luka averaged almost 34 points per game, 9 rebounds, and nearly 10 assists a night. That's basically a 34, 10, and 10 season, and he made it look casual. But it gets crazier when you zoom in. In the games where Luka recorded a triple-double, 21 of them, he didn't slow down. He averaged 33 points, almost 12 rebounds, and over 12 assists. That's not just a triple-double, that's total control. And when Luka decided to crash the glass in 18 games with 12 or more rebounds, his numbers jumped again. 33 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. At that point, he's not just scoring and passing, he's running the entire game. Then there were the scoring explosions. In 13 games, where Luka scored 40 or more, he averaged almost 46 points per game. Read that again, 46 points, 9 rebounds, nearly 10 assists. When Luka got hot, the defense didn't just struggle, it broke. And even on nights where he leaned into playmaking, in 8 games with 15 or more assists, Luka still gave you 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 16 assists. 16. That's not offense, that's orchestration. Then came the games where he dominated the paint. In 3 games with 15 or more rebounds, Luka averaged 35 points, 17 boards, and 13 assists. At that point, he wasn't playing like a guard anymore. He was everything at once. And then there was the night that didn't feel real. 73 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. One of the greatest scoring performances the league has ever seen. And the wildest part, Luka made it look routine. This wasn't a hot stretch. This wasn't stat chasing. This was Luka Doncic proving, night after night, that the numbers weren't exaggerating. If anything, they were underselling how dominant he really was. And then came one of the loudest moments of the season, the Kyrie Irving trade. People thought it would break the team. Too many ball handlers, too many cooks, too much overlap. And early on, yeah, it was clunky. Spacing felt weird. The rhythm was off. Every possession felt like a weird, your turn, my turn, dance. But something happened that the media completely missed. Luka grew. He stopped trying to do everything. He started reading defenses more patiently. He stopped forcing tough shots because Kyrie let him rest mentally. He began using Kyrie's gravity to open up easier looks. And that shift, that calm, patient, calculated version of Luka was maybe the deadliest version we've ever seen. Because once Luka learned he didn't need to score 50 every night to dominate, his playmaking reached supercomputer levels. To understand Luka's mastery, you have to look at the tiny moments, the ones you see once, rewind, and go. Hold on. What? Like the possession where Luka posts up, looks off the defender with a fake corner pass, and then whips a no-look dime to a cutting teammate on the opposite angle. Or that moment where Luka hit 3 straight step-back threes on the same defender, and by the third one, the guy literally laughed because he knew there was nothing left to try. or when Luka launched a left-handed skyhook.
Looking for a place to go. Finds Green, who attacked the pass. Handoff back to Luka. Late in the shot clock. 4 seconds. Got it from Kleba. Again late in the clock. In desperation.
Yes, you heard that correctly. From the three-point line for no reason other than, yeah, this is the funniest possible shot right now. These aren't highlights. They're reminders that Luka isn't playing the same sport as everyone else. So what actually made 2023 Luka different? Why does this season stand above the rest? It comes down to one word: mastery. He mastered all 3 scoring levels. At the rim, using angles, footwork, and strength to bully defenders who thought he was slow. But Luka plays slow on purpose. It's misdirection, mid-range. His fadeaway is pure math. Defenders jump, he waits, then shoots. It's a cheat code disguised as patience. Deep threes. The step back is now so iconic that defenders know it's coming. And it still doesn't matter. Add in the court vision, the anticipation, the ability to manipulate an entire defense with one glance, and suddenly the picture becomes clear. 2023 Luka wasn't just great. He was inevitable. And then, on January 26th, 2024, he detonated 73 points, the most anyone has scored since Kobe. And the crazy part? It never felt forced, never felt spammed, never felt like he was chasing a number. Every shot was in rhythm, every possession was under control. Every defender looked like they were trying to cover a glitch in the system. By halftime, he had 41. By the third quarter, players were shrugging, like, yeah, we're done. Someone else guard him. And the final number, 73, felt surreal. Because Luka didn't just break records that night, he broke expectations. And if the regular season felt historic, the playoffs only raised the stakes. Because this is where stars get tested, where efficiency drops, where defenses lock in, where every possession matters. And somehow, Luka got better. In the postseason, Luka delivered 7 triple-doubles. That's 28 points per game, 11 rebounds, and almost 11 assists. In the playoffs, let that sink in. And when the physicality ramped up, in 5 games, where Luka pulled down 12 or more rebounds, his numbers didn't fall, they climbed. 26 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. That's not a guard stat line. That's a leader doing everything his team needs. And then there were the nights where Luka went full workhorse. In 2 playoff games with 15 or more rebounds, he averaged 25 points, 15 boards, and 7 assists. At that point, position doesn't matter anymore. That's just control. These aren't normal playoff numbers. These are carry a franchise deep into May numbers. And Luka didn't do it fresh. He did it through pain, through fatigue, through constant defensive pressure, through expectations no young star should have to shoulder alone. But Luka didn't just accept the load. He leaned into it, because when the lights are brightest and the margin for error disappears, this is the version of Luka that shows up. And this is where you really understand what 2023 Luka was about. Because the playoffs weren't some smooth fairy tale run. It was a grind. Different matchups every round. Different problems to solve. And every series asked Luka a new question. First round, the Clippers. At this point, the Clippers knew Luka as well as anyone in the league. They'd seen him before. They had the size, the physicality, the switchability, all the stuff you're supposed to need to slow him down. And Luka just played smarter. He wasn't rushing shots. He wasn't forcing hero ball early. He walked the ball up, called his spots, hunted matchups, and punished every mistake. If they switched a smaller defender onto him, he backed him down. If they stayed home on shooters, he hit step backs right over contests. If help came late, the ball was already flying to the corner. What stood out wasn't just the scoring, it was how calm everything felt. Like Luka had already seen this movie before and knew exactly how it ended. Then came the Thunder, and that was a totally different problem. OKC wanted speed. They wanted chaos. They wanted to turn the series into a track meet and make Luka work on every possession. so Luka slowed the entire thing down. There were stretches where he'd dribble the air out of the ball on purpose. Not because he didn't know what to do, but because he was waiting for the defense to crack. And once it did, step back. Quick post-up, one-handed skip pass to the corner before the rotation could even think about arriving. That series felt like Luka playing chess while everyone else was playing pickup. No wasted movement, no panic, just control. Then came Minnesota, and that's where things got heavy. Length everywhere. Physical defenders, multiple bodies thrown at him every single possession. This wasn't about finding easy shots anymore. This was about survival, and you could tell Luka knew it. He picked his spots early, saved energy where he could. Then, late in games, when everything tightened up, he went right back to what he trusted. Late clock step backs, when nothing else was there. Quick post seals before the help loaded up. Passes delivered right on time. Not early, not late. Every bucket felt earned. Every possession mattered. Dallas came out of the West battered, exhausted, but still standing. And then came the finals. The Celtics, the team everyone had circled from day one. Elite wings, elite defense, depth everywhere. A roster built to switch, rotate, and punish mistakes. On paper, this was the worst possible matchup. And yeah, it showed. Boston had answers. They didn't panic. They stayed disciplined. They made everything hard. But even then, Luka didn't disappear. He still bent the defense, still created advantages, still forced Boston to guard him with their best guys for entire games. The difference wasn't Luka shrinking. It was the margin finally running out. That's what happens in the finals. When the opponent has depth, when mistakes get punished instantly, when one guy has to be perfect every night just to keep things close, Dallas came up short. But if you actually watch that run, you know what this was. This wasn't Luka failing. This was Luka dragging a team through 3 completely different playoff styles, solving each one in real time, and finally running into a Celtics team that didn't give anything away for free. And when it was over, the takeaway wasn't Luka couldn't get it done. It was, yeah, this dude just proved he belongs here. Because playoff basketball strips everything down. No hype, no excuses, no hiding. And Luka, he was still the smartest guy on the floor. Still the one controlling pace. Still the one defenses built entire game plans around. That's what made this run historic. Not the ending, not the trophy. The fact that series after series, the league threw its best at Luka Doncic, and he kept finding answers. So what did 2023 actually change? Not Luka's reputation. That was already established. Not his place among stars. That debate was over. What 2023 changed was how the league had to talk about him. Before this season, Luka was treated like a problem you could maybe manage. Throw different coverages at him, make him work, hope fatigue kicks in, trust that the numbers would drop late. 2023 erased that illusion because Luka didn't just survive defensive attention, he absorbed it. Traps didn't rush him. Double teams didn't speed him up. Physical defenders didn't wear him down. If anything, they sharpened him. This was the year teams stopped asking, how do we stop Luka? And started asking, how do we limit the damage? That's an important shift. It's the same moment the league had with Jordan in the late 80s, with LeBron during the Cleveland Carey years, with Harden at his offensive peak. Once a player reaches that point, the game changes around him, and that's what made 2023 historic. Luka wasn't just putting up numbers, he was controlling outcomes. Games felt decided not by matchups or momentum, but by how long defenses could survive before he solved them. Some nights it was scoring, some nights it was playmaking, some nights it was tempo, slowing the game down until the opponent got impatient and made mistakes. That's not talent, that's command. And here's the part that really separates 2023 Luka from just another great season. He didn't rely on one unstoppable move. He didn't hunt mismatches mindlessly. He didn't force efficiency to chase volume. He adapted, possession by possession. By the end of the season, the film told the same story every night. Luka didn't need the game to go his way. He made it go his way. That's why 2023 wasn't just a statistical outlier. It wasn't just a viral highlight year. It was the moment Luka crossed an invisible line. The line between being one of the most talented players in the league and being one of the players the league has to orbit around. And once a player reaches that tier, the conversation changes forever. Not can he do it? Not is this sustainable? Not what if defenses adjust? But simply, how long can anyone survive this? So if you ask me, out of every version of Luka Doncic we've ever seen, which one am I taking? I'm taking 2023 Luka. The Luka who broke logic. The Luka who rewrote the stat book. The Luka who made triple-doubles look normal. The Luka who dropped 73 like it was a side quest. Because 2023 wasn't the year Luka arrived. It was the year he announced what's coming next. Alright, real question before you go. Was 2023 Luka the best individual season of the decade? Or am I reaching? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me who you're taking over him if you disagree. And if you want more deep dive stories like this, player peaks, historic runs, and why these seasons actually mattered, hit like and subscribe. We've got a lot more coming.